Alright folks, welcome back. This is episode 27 of the ICT Mastery Mentorship. In this episode, we're going to be going over the concept of time distortion. Time distortion, in short, is basically when price is not doing as it should during a kill zone. Meaning, if price is supposed to displace during New York as it should, at 9:30 prices just go boom, and it doesn't do that, do you know what that's called? It's called time distortion. Now, when I say it doesn't do that, I mean doing the complete opposite of displacing, which is consolidating and or accumulating. So time distortion is a form of accumulation, okay? Like I mentioned in the previous video, there's power of 3. You could expect some form of manipulation if price hasn't manipulated already after the time distortion, as you know, after it's done. Or if price is already manipulated and price is simply just time distorting. It can be time distorting at a reference point. It can be time distorting and creating a signature on a higher time frame. Like for example, on the 1 minute, it could be just chopping back and forth for like minutes on end. That's time distortion. On 15 minute, it might be creating some sort of signature, touching a PD array. I don't know, purging liquidity. It can be doing a lot of stuff within that time distortion on the higher time frames. So whenever you see time distortion, just keep your head up. Immediately, like, open your eyes and start looking around on, I'm not going to say each time frame, like the monthly and weekly, but you get what I'm saying. Whenever you see time distortion, it's definitely indication to be like, oh, wake up, it's time to look around. So an example of time distortion, let's see if I can find one from today's price action, would be something like this. See this right here? Where price is just not doing anything, and it's just back and forth. That's time distortion right there. Now, notice that I'm highlighting this within the London close. Yeah, I did say kill zones, right? It's within a kill zone, okay? This can be Asian, London lunch. Well, no, not really London lunch, because London lunch is meant to accumulate. So Asian, London, New York, final hour of the day, and New York PM. Those are the 5 kill zones, or 5 times. How many times was that? I forgot. But those are the times in which you can find time distortion, because if the time is right, price should what? Displace. If there's a certain time that price should displace, it should do it, right? And if price is not doing it, that's called time distortion. Whenever time distortion occurs, I'm going to say this again, you can expect 2 things: price to manipulate in whichever direction you anticipate it to manipulate in, or it can simply expand if price is already manipulated. Very, very simple. Now, let me go over to the previous day, because there's not really any time distortion on that day. There's a lot of time distortion going on here. What the world is happening here? This is crazy. Okay. So we have this order block here. Price touches this order block. Just give me a second. We're marking some things out. Here is that 9:30 opening right here. This is the 9:30 opening. We time distort a bit much. Time distort here. Expand higher. We refer back to this fair value gap once again. Stay below its equilibrium. We drop lower. Then we leave this low here. This what's this? Intermediate term swing? I think so. Yeah, this is a intermediate term swing. Got the short term swing here, short term swing there. Then you have the swing in the middle. That's intermediate term. It rallies higher, distributes away from it, comes down, takes out that low. So what is that? That is a liquidity purge. That's your liquidity purge. Price heads higher, has a willingness to not go past it, as we can see here. Visits it, jumps back up. Visits it, takes out another short-term low, jumps above that short-term low. Pretty nice, isn't it? Next, you have this break and market structure here. Just marking out all the confluences that you know of and that are present here, so you can see what time distortion does afterwards, okay? Break structure gets hit. We have this order block that's left behind from when price retraced down into... It was this fair value gap, but it disrespected it, so no need to worry about that. Well, was this an order block? Yeah, it was definitely an order block. Anyway, price retraces here for some odd reason. I think it's because we had this little dealing range here from here to here. Hit its equilibrium, jumped higher, created the break and market structure. After it did that, price left equal highs up here. When it left equal highs, or buys that liquidity up here, guess what we did? We rallied lower, visit this order block, respect it. So you can see it hits it, pulls all the way back up. That's the willingness of it when it's to respect it. This is where we time distort. Right here. Back and forth. Price is not displacing as it should. It's not moving. Mind you, listen here. When London close kicks in, just compare the two from here to here, right? From here all the way to here. Is price moving as much compared to this? Not really. No. So, you see what I'm talking about now, right? Price should be moving within this time. within the London kill zone, I mean the London, not London kill zone, but the London close that is within New York, it should be moving during this time. When I say moving, I mean moving with energy, displacement. It should be moving good and well. That's not happening here. Within that little range right there, if I can mark it, that's not happening at all. Let's pull this over. That's not happening right there. This is called time distortion. So what is this? This is a form of accumulation. Prices accumulating after touching this order block. So the algorithm is accumulating what? It's accumulating longs in this area because we had that breaker structure, liquidity purge, the willingness to rally after that liquidity purge, and you get the point. Price just wants to go higher. So after the time distortion, we head higher, create more liquidity. Here we have this trend line liquidity, or just a bunch of accumulated liquidity being built up here. And yes, this is a thing. Whenever you see a bunch of highs is being built up like this, as if Jesus Christ, I gotta work on my my talking, but as if price is creating a trend line, it's just a liquidity being built up here. So this is buy side liquidity right here. Price rallies up, creates another point of buy side liquidity, drops back lower, takes out this short-term low, I think. No, it gets very close to it. It does get very close to it, so it fails to break this point of sell side liquidity or short-term. Let me see if it actually broke it. Let me zoom in really hard. No, it did not break it. It actually respected it to the tick. So we failed to take out the low of the time distortion, in which so since we failed to do that, we can now do what? We should start seeing respect of fair value gaps, order blocks, and if you know a PD array already, even though I haven't taught it to you yet, then you might know it can be rejection block, order block, mitigation block, volume balance, all those other ones, okay? But from that point here, we jump up after the time distortion, come back down, visit this fair value gap right there. That's the fair value gap. We dip into it, have a willingness to, exit it because price jumps down into it and then pulls, if I can zoom in, pulls all the way back up and just stops right there. Next candle comes in, jumps up aggressively, takes out these equal highs here, and then after here we should just see straight displacement, in which it does exactly that. Pretty nice, isn't it? Now let's look here. This is where things get even more interesting. After we had that rally from, this little setup here, this was a nice setup from this order block. Gave you about, let's see, if you were to enter right there at that order block. Hello, if I can, what? Can I not? That's weird. I don't think I can do it. Yeah, it won't let me highlight it. Let me just get the ruler and do it myself. So from here to here, gave you a nice 100 points. So that's pretty decent. 100 points, that's nice. Anyway, I forgot to mention one thing. If you take an entry or you already have an entry in and time distortion begins to occur, pay attention to what's happening, okay? And when I say pay attention to what's happening, shift through the time frames. Go through the 1 hour, 30 minute. I'll say start from the hour and just shift all the way down, or even the 30 minute. You don't need to go that high, but 30 minute and just start shifting down to see what is happening and gather information on that time distortion to see what could potentially happen next, and do whatever you need to do to improvise on that anticipation. There we go. I finally said it right. Because normally, I'll just chop that word all the way up. Anyway, after we have that rally, price begins time distorting again. Back and forth. This entire thing here is time distortion. Price is not going anywhere, while it should, because we are into what? The London close kill zone. So, zooming back in here, we have buy side liquidity resting here. This time distortion is accumulating buy side. See that? See how it's just accumulating buy side at that high, creating relative equal highs, and accumulating buy side above time distortion? See that? You do see that, right? Price comes down, takes out that low, injects it back into the market, uses it to push price higher past that high here. So guess what? This right here is a purge of buy side liquidity. Comes above it, fails to, keep going past it. Guess what? Short-term swing, price comes up, purges it, has a failure to go past it, and that's where we see that displacement. After all this time distortion. All this right here is time distortion. It's not going anywhere. It's just back and forth. You want to see? If we jump onto that 3 minute and go back to wherever we just were, now you see what I'm talking about. Okay? Time distortion doesn't just occur on the 1 minute. Remember that. It can occur on every single time frame. Okay? Well, matter of fact, not on every single time frame, but intraday time frames. Intraday time frames, yes. Daily, weekly, monthly, yearly, no. Not at all. So this is time distortion. What is building up here? We have buy side and sell side building up. Do you remember? This is power of 3. Right here is power of 3. We have price accumulating. Okay, it's accumulating. But how is it? Is it accumulating higher? Yeah, it is. It's accumulating higher. Since it's accumulating higher, right? That means we have sell side being built up. We can clearly see it. We got sell side here, sell side here, sell side here. Simple, right? Very, very simple. But while price is accumulating sell side, it's also accumulating buy side. So if we want to see price go down, we should see what? We should see price manipulate higher. Or even if we didn't have an anticipation on price, let's just say we're waiting. We're waiting to see what price to do. Or price is going to do. Because that's what I do. I just wait. I don't put a prediction on price or what I expect price to do. That's one thing I would advise you not to do. Don't force price to do something. Okay. Now, okay, let me say this. I think there's a way I said it. Ask yourself what price should do. What is it going to do? What is price going to do? Not what it should do, because that should is what you think it's going to do. What does price want to do? Look at price and see what information is giving you to really say, okay, it might do this. Even if you do get that confirmation and say, okay, it still say might, because price is fractal and it changes constantly. Okay, it changes constantly. So I'm going to say this again. It's not what price should do, it's what price wants to do. Remember that. Anyway, we can clearly see that price accumulates, takes out buy side first. Since we see what is this right here? This move up, what's that? That's the second phase. What's that? Manipulation, exactly. And when we come above that high, do we close below it? Yeah, look at the closure of the candle. It stays right below buy side liquidity. So what should happen now? Price should displace lower. Does it do that? Yeah, it does. Of course it does. And guess what it hits? It hits sell side that was left behind from the previous time distortion right here. Wow, pretty cool, isn't it? Yeah, I know. Amazing. And you can use the lows or highs of the time distortion based off, whatever market conditions you're trading in, or just the direction of the market, or the whatever your conditions are. That's how you would use the time distortion. So for example, if you want to see price drop lower, you can use the low of a previous time distortion range, or if price matches that time distortion range and creates some sort of like relative equal lows, you can use that too, in which that is this right here. We come back down, try to break the low of the time distortion, we create relative equal lows that can be used for later, in which price uses it after time distorting all this time, manipulating higher, taking out buy side, and then having a run on all this sell side that was accumulated here, and running past, disrespecting this fair value gap, and respecting the order block during this time, but it never moved away from it. Okay, so yeah, you can see price respecting it. Oh, let me. This is some sauce right here, and this is what really saved my trading career. I see a lot of people. I just hit my desk. I'm sorry, desk. I didn't mean to do that to you. What I see a lot of people do is when they see it respect a PD array. Matter of fact, no. There's sometimes they won't even look for the respect of a PD array. They will just see price touch it, like just go into it. Doesn't even respect it, disrespect it, or nothing. They will just see price touch the PD array, the fair value gap, the order block, and they'll be like, "Oh, I'm selling. Let's do this," and they'll get stopped out so quick. And I watch the Instagram reels, and I watch the Facebook reels, and I watch the TikToks, and I'm sitting here just like, "Are we serious? You didn't even wait for the respect of it." That's one thing you need to do, people. Whenever you see price touch a PD array that you're interested in, or that you want to enter off of, first, wait for it to respect it. Meaning, for example, if price hits this fair value gap right here, right? Let's really look at this. If price, I didn't mean to do that. Let's turn off this right here. If price hits this fair value gap, and let's get the drawing to wherever it's at. It comes up, rallies up, right? What you want to see happen is two things. You want to see it start moving away from it. I can't really do it, but hold on, let me just do it with my mouse. So what you should see happen is when it touches this, rallies all the way up, touches it, you shouldn't see it go you don't want to see it do that. You don't want to see it jump up through there. What you need to see is literal resistance. Okay, literal resistance. Okay, you're probably like, oh, so this guy's mentioning support resistance. No, literal resistance. PD arrays are a true support resistance because you're using algorithmic patterns. Okay, this isn't some gimmick. Okay, price jumps up. Well, we're not looking at this, but for example, if price did jump up, What you want to see is price actually hesitating to go through it. Like literally, like think of this as the candle. You do not want to see it go through that. You should literally see price struggling to push through it. You want to see the struggle of price being like, oh man, I just can't do it. I gotta drop lower. That's what you want to see. Next, what you want to see is actual movement away from it. Okay, yeah, you can see that respect all you want, but if you don't get that movement, like for example, you can enter off of the respect being the resistance of it, price actually resisting and struggling to go past it. You can enter off of that, yes, you can enter off of that. But what I do sometimes, right, is I'll enter after it displaces. Not displaces, but starts actually gaining momentum and moving away from that PD array. But for example, let's say you enter on the, the struggling of the tab of the fair value gap. I forgot to mark this as a fair value gap. Let me do that real quick. Let's say you got in on the struggle of the push through on the fair value gap. If you got in on that, what you should see immediately, if you want to see it displaced, you should see movement immediately. You shouldn't see no time distortion. You shouldn't see any of that, okay? Because I know we're talking about time distortion, but you shouldn't see that. If price is going to respect a PD array, it should move away from it, right? That's why it's called respect. Duh. If price is going to respect a PD array, it has to do what? Move away from it. Duh. Because if it doesn't move away from it, it's not respect. Duh. It's just common sense, okay? So I've been talking about that for 3 minutes. I went completely off topic, but hey, I just dropped a bunch of sauce, so enjoy it. Anyway, if price does that, just keep that in mind, because I pay attention. I watch on Instagram Reels, on Facebook, on TikTok, on YouTube. I watch the live streams, and I see the mistakes that people do constantly, and it is such stupid mistakes. All right. Anyway, this is the end of episode 27. I really just not necessarily rushed it, but I think I gave you a really good amount of sauce on this. Like seriously, pretty short video, 17 minutes. So I really talk too much. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next episode. I'll be in this here. Good luck and good trading.